Good morning, everybody. Excuse this, I just woke up, so I'm in my night clothes and everything. Well, I didn't just wake up. I just got finished watching a sermon. I do that now every day, 7 days a week. Most of the time, I get up at 5 o'clock every morning. Today, I was up a little bit earlier. But before I do anything, before I get on my phone, watch TV, anything. Only thing I do is I do brush my teeth and get up and spend an hour and a half with the Lord every morning. Something I've been doing since December 21st of 2021. Something that has increasingly changed my life. It holds me together. And even sometimes during the day, if I'm having a bad day, or if something is not right with my soul, my thinking goes off path or things like that, I have this playlist that I listen to, the only music that I listen to now at all. And it's quite gratifying. It's amazing. But I'm coming to everyone today in reference to, I haven't done a video for a few weeks now, and this one has been on me, but it wasn't time. And today it was time for me to speak, because every day I'm convicted of something. My spirit, I'm reminded of where I came from. I'm often reminded of where I'm going, but more reminded of where I am today. And I be wanting to share it. Like, just not too long ago, I was cussing on, like, angry, cussing my family out. And don't get me wrong, there's still my family members that don't talk to me, family members that I choose not to talk to. I've lost people that I thought were my friends, and I've lost them for no reason at all but for being myself. And no harm, anything that I've done wasn't to harm them. I don't know, but I'm at a place where now I know that they've been removed for a reason. Even if I don't understand it, I have to trust God. And that's where I'm at today. I'm coming to speak of how choices, again, there's something else, and everything, I can't repeat this to myself enough. Everything that happens is because of a choice. No matter if it was your choice or someone else's, it happened because of a choice that was made. And people that know me or have watched my videos before know that I had turned away from God at one point. Oh boy, did I pay for that. I rebelled, and I became impatient, big time, with God, and I started being inconsiderate of many things, even inconsiderate of myself. And they say that once you take yourself out of things and God, a lot of things will happen to you. I remember in 2006, I got my first brand new car off the lot. 17 miles was on the car. I was so happy. That one thing brought me so much happiness, getting out there, washing it, doing all those things with it. On day 28, somebody crashed in the back of the car. I was so angry. And because that car got damaged and had to be repaired, I never really looked at it the same again. And it only took 28 days. Um, it was a temporary joy for the car. I was granted it, got it, boom. Still, it was a temporary satisfaction. June 30th, 2020. We bought this house I'm sitting in right now. We signed for it and got the keys. Not bought because we're still paying for it. Was so ecstatic, so happy. It was a milestone and it came from nowhere. Like, our credit was horrible before we moved here. We had just gotten to fixing our credit because we were trying to purchase before we moved to Florida. And when we went to do it, it was things that we had to fix on the credit. So we had started doing that. We got here and things went so fast. The first person that we went to, they were like, oh, blue, we got a good realtor. We got out there, we got more money than we expected. And I was still smart enough to not take all the money, I didn't look for homes with the amount of money that they gave us. I still wasn't comfortable with that. So I know that God was with me at that time as well to not make that big jump and get out there. So I just needed something basic but good and would call my name. And I never forget, this was the 5th house that we looked at. And I walked in the door and before I even looked at things, I already felt that this was it. Even when I drove into the neighborhood, I already was there. Like, yeah, this is it. This is it. I get in here, I do the look around, and I see some things need to be done. I see some old stuff. I particularly didn't like the bathrooms, knew that there would need to be work there. But it was like, this was it. We bought it, I was ecstatic. The first time I go to wash clothes here, the laundry room floods. The laundry room is off of my kitchen, and there's, wood floor, and ended up costing us, within the first 8 days of living here, another $1,700 because they had a little plumbing problem and they had a leak in the wall back there that was explained to me was a lot different than what it actually was. It was horrifying. Then there were so many other little things in here that weren't quite right, and I'm still working on. And so it's like, I look around like, all these temporary things, like, I was given in my life. I was given. People didn't even see the blessings of my kids when I was having them at a young age and back to back. They were blessings. Nobody even knew. I didn't even know they were blessings. Having me hold on to something that I was going to deal with later, that I was rebelling against because of what happened to me. And I didn't even know that. So then they were my blessings. And then as they got older, and they were doing the things that I told them not to do and doing the things I told them to do, even like making sure that everybody graduates from high school. Everybody's going to graduate. You going to school, you're going to get good grades, blah, blah, blah. Some of them didn't get good grades. Most of them did. But then it came college time, and where did the money come from? So all these temporary gratifications came, and the blessings came, and all that, but it always had something in it. And I still wasn't grounded yet, though. I turned away from God so many times. So I never got complete joy and happiness. I would get mad at the kids. I couldn't understand why they made the decisions they made. I tried to do things the right way. I was different than my mom. I was the same as my mom, and it You know, it's amazing. And then the same thing ended up happening to my daughter. My daughter was abused. Again, not in my house, the same way I wasn't in my mom's house, but she was sexually abused. It's like all these things just came. She didn't tell me. I didn't understand why. I'm rambling on this morning because I just still understand that no matter what, God was always there with me. And it took me to hit rock bottom and for me to scream out because I couldn't do it by myself no more. It took that. My heart, it wasn't in the right place for a long time. I couldn't remember the last time that my heart was in the right place. But now I'm in a place where as though I know that if anything was to happen, if my car outside was to be repoed today, if I was to lose this house today, I still wouldn't turn my back on the Lord. I know it'd be for a reason. I wouldn't maybe understand it at the time and probably never would, but I know one thing for sure. I have never felt this good in my life. And as I've said, everything still isn't perfect in my life. Still so many things. Some things haven't even changed around me. But what's around me no longer dictates here. Every time I do think or do something wrong, or I'm instantly convicted by the Holy Spirit, hey, that's not you no more. That's not you. When I was sinning, I was insane. And people think of sin as they look at the big things. We sin on so many small levels and miss it. And that's why mine goes insane. Gets dark. I don't want to ever be in that dark place again. We all, excuse me, we're all called to stand out. We're not called to be like everybody else, especially as a Christian. And as I was about to say that, I almost didn't say it because I really never call myself a Christian, even on paperwork. The same way I don't say I'm African American, I'm black. I'm going to stand on me being black, but I am a Christian. I'm claiming it. I'm gonna represent Christianity in the way that it needs to be represented, because I got away from it because of some of the representation that I ran across. I didn't want to be a part of that group, but I'm claiming it, and I'm gonna walk this talk the talk, talk the walk the talk, all of it. And in Psalms 106, verse 42 to 43, I felt this morning. It said, their enemies oppressed them and subjected them to their power. My enemies were everything and anybody that did something to me that made me feel less of myself or made me feel dirty. I was under their power for a long time. Most of us look at the big picture of like me being black or a woman. We look at the big picture of what society does to us on a bigger scope because of how we were born. Mine was on a lower level as well with the abuse that I went through and how I felt. And, incest, it was family members and how I felt about that with myself and didn't even know at the time that I was feeling that way, because I had so much confidence what people saw, but my insides was torn up. And then it says, many times he delivered them, but they were bent on rebellion and they wasted away in sin. God was delivering me all the time. He gave me a wonderful mom that would do anything for me, even to this day. He gave me a grandmother that protected my grandchildren, her great grandchildren in my home, my children. She protected them and watched them in my home. I don't really know the reasons why, but I keep telling myself that God was moving, changing things around, even for her in her later stages of life. I was blessed with a husband. Everything hasn't always been gravy with me and him, just like that. I thought that getting married, things would be so much easier. You know, I found this great man. You know, things were a lot hard at one time, and we had to learn each other. But we went through everything together. When I tell you guys, my husband and I have been through a lot of things that some people wouldn't have made it. But it was God in there again, parting those Red Seas, putting us on dry land. We needed dry land, and giving us the waters when we needed it as well. So everything is a blessing, and believe me, I love that dude. Wouldn't trade him for nothing. At one time I would, but not now. Wouldn't trade him for nothing. That last phrase, it was like, and they wasted away in their sin. I kept sinning, not even understanding the deliverance of God. But let me tell y'all today, I will never forget what I've done. I will never forget what God has done, and I will never stop worshiping God ever again in my life. For as long as he gives me breath, I will worship him, period. I will no longer reject his authority. I will not practice other religions as I have. I'm tired of breaking covenants, and I'm so glad that he never breaks them with me. And I've turned away from my own thinking. Even on those days that I do think my own, I'm telling y'all that conviction comes. It comes to me hard. It comes. I gave up the lower life, and I'm reaching for the higher life, and I'm just sharing this with you guys. Hope that somebody may need to hear this. I don't get a lot of likes. I don't get a lot of views. It doesn't matter if I can just reach one person at a time. I just want, when I go there, not what, how many people you reached or blah, blah, blah. When I get there, I just want God to tell me, well done. It's not about my start. It's about how I finish this thing. And I'm going to finish this the right way. Love you guys. God bless you. Have a good day. And make sure that you get a little ritual. Give some time to God. Change your life.